up on the Big Ten Women's Sports Report, fueled by Gatorade. Caitlin Clark is the Big Ten's best bucket getter ever. With college's all-time scoring record within reach, it's not a matter of if, but when for the Iowa Unicorn. Plus, we look back and celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day in the Big Ten, offering up advice to the next generation of female athletes. And representation has always been a big part of Nyah Funderburke's collegiate experience at Ohio State. We look back at her journey this summer as part of the Big Life series, Now.
Clark, step back. She's comfortable already. Clark, quickly. You blink and you'll miss her. 2 points away. Caitlin, and she has officially moved on up in the record books. Caitlin Clark is now the all-time leading scorer in the Big Ten.
It's cool to be in the same vicinity as some of those names. A lot of people I grew up idolizing and looking up to, so definitely special for me.
Scoring a lot of points like that is tough. I know a little bit from experience, but at the level she's playing, it's an amazing accomplishment. I'm proud of her.
So Caitlin closed out January by passing Buckeye great Kelsey Mitchell and is just 8 points away from passing Kelsey Plum for the NCAA scoring record, which she can do at home in front of a sold-out Carver Hawkeye crowd. Once she does that, it's chasing down the iconic Pistol Pete for the title of best scorer in college history. Clark wasn't the only one making headlines. Her own teammate Hannah Stolke dropped 47 in the win against Penn State, which was the second most in team history. Clark dished out 15 dimes to the sophomore, who has over 1,000 in her Hawkeye career. In Lincoln, the Huskers made a dramatic comeback to upset the number 2 Iowa Hawkeyes thanks to the late heroic by Jazz Shelley, who scored 10 of her season-high 23 in the final 5 minutes of the game. Setting off another court storm in Nebraska, the win matched the highest-ranked victory in program history. Down in Bloomington, a layup in the fourth quarter against their in-state rival helped etch Mackenzie Holmes' name into the Hoosier record books. With 17 points, she passed Tyra Buss as the team's all-time leading scorer for a career total of 2,365 points. Two teams trying to chase down Clark and the Hawks link up at legendary Rec Hall on Thursday, February 22nd. Cody McMahon and the surging Buckeyes take on McKenna Marisa and the Lady Lions. Big Ten Women's Basketball only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Coming up, it was National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and current Big Ten athletes gave their advice to the future stars of tomorrow. Plus, we follow Ohio State swimmer Nyah Funderburke as she embarked on a journey of a lifetime, going down to Selma as part of the Big Life series, next. The Big Ten Women's Sports Report is fueled by Gatorade. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
Marissa Young is one of the best players to come out of the Michigan softball program. She graduated as the program's all-time strikeout leader and was second in career wins. She was the 2002 Big Ten Pitcher of the Year and then became the Big Ten Player of the Year in 2003. After her playing career, she turned to coaching. She spent the last 6 seasons as the Duke softball head coach, leading them to the Super Regional in 2022. Marissa Young is a big impact pioneer, class of 2024.
On February 7th, the country celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day, a time to remember and enjoy so much that is wonderful in the athletic competition for today's female athletes. In Columbus, several current student athletes from different programs sat down to discuss how they got into sports and the passion that drives them today.
I'm Cindy Taylor, I'm a junior, and I play women's volleyball.
Hi, I'm Amy Fulmer, I'm a 5th year, and I'm on the women's swim team.
Hi, I'm Josie Panitz, I'm a 5th year, and I'm on the women's swim team.
Hi, I'm Allison Smith, I am a senior, and I'm on the softball team.
I'm Peyton McNamara, I'm a 5th year, and I'm on the women's soccer team.
I'll start us off.
Okay.
Do you remember the first sport you played? Is it the sport you play now?
I did ballet, I think was the first thing I did. I think when I was probably like 9 or 10, it got to the point where I had to choose between ballet or swimming, and thankfully I chose swimming because I'm not sure I would do ballet.
So I'm the youngest of 3 sisters, so both my older sisters swam, and my parents would just send me with them, so I was like 2.5 in a pool.
I'm pretty sure my parents wanted me to be a boy. So like all the sports that like a boy plays was pretty much what I was in, but I think I started softball when I was like 4.
I've always played soccer. Started when I was 3 because I had an older brother who played, and I was like, I want to be better than you. And then, so that's what I've always played.
I have 2 older brothers, so I think the first sport I wanted to play was football, but that didn't work out. But I think just same with you guys, just like all over the place with like soccer. I think that was my first official sport when I was like 4, but the usual like T-ball. I did not like T-ball. I'm sorry.
No offense. That's why I'm a pitcher. I have the ball all the time. I don't deal with the waiting for a ground ball. That's no fun. I feel like everybody had a dance phase. Everybody had a dance phase, and everybody had the phase where they all cut their hair to like their chin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like those are just 2 things like you had to do as a kid.
I think it's important for young girls to be involved in sports just because it teaches you so many life lessons.
A big part of like being like an athlete, especially as a girl, is like when you're like playing your sport and you're doing what you love, like you're not thinking about what you look like and what people think of you, because you're just like feeling really good about yourself and like doing what makes you feel happy. Whether it's in your sport or like beyond, like in the classroom, in your career, like it teaches you to want to be the best version of yourself.
I also can't imagine like playing an individual sport.
I think when it comes to swimming, it's so much different because it's just having that team around you, and like, yes, you're swimming individually, but when you get up on the block, you know that you're not swimming for yourself, you're swimming for the girls watching you, you're swimming for the girls in your heat, and it's just such a unifying thing. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, and there's obviously going to be a lot of challenges, but it's probably one of like the most rewarding and fulfilling things.
I also just say, I know it sounds cliche, but don't let anyone dull your sparkle. I don't know what better term to put it in, but like, I feel like sometimes we let those around us kind of judge, like when we take our sport seriously, or if we are full throttle into it, we kind of just sometimes let other people talk us out of it or not let us express how much we love our sport.
What are you most proud of when it comes to what you do and being a woman in sports?
I just think it's something that's like cool to say that you were able to do it.
We get to be examples for younger girls. They get to look up to us and like, I can be there one day, and sad to say, like, people didn't always have that.
I think all of us could say just like how proud we are of ourselves, of like the people we've become and the leaders on the court, on the field, in the pool, like, and then taking those skills beyond the gym.
I looked up to so many people growing up. Like, I looked up to my sisters, and I looked up to like professional swimmers. I'm just proud that I can like serve as a source of admiration that'll like drive young girls to like find success, and I hope that they look at me and they're like, oh, I don't want to like just be her, like I want to be better than her.
What does National Girl and Women in Sports Day mean to you? To me, I think the first thing that comes to mind is just it's celebrating all the generations. So all the women before us, and then our teammates now, and then I think all the future girls, like it's just celebrating all the talent, the hard work and dedication that women have in sports, even when it's not the most popular thing. Girls and women keep doing it.
Soccer-wise, they just opened the first only like female soccer stadium in Kansas City, and like hearing things like that makes you excited for days like this where you get to celebrate your sport and celebrate everyone in other sports.
I think of like women in sports, I think of like just the great passion that like has been shown, like we all say from the beginning, but like from point A, like when it first started, like softball came from like a broom and like a dust bunny. Like that was literally like where it started, and like now to see that there's like a channel on ESPN it's being covered, it's so cool to see like the growth that can be made.
There's just so many things that to be thankful for, and I think like when we're in the seat of like being the athlete, like present in this moment, I think you see a lot of people like shouting at their teammates and like showing appreciation for the girls that they get to be with every day. Also, it's cool to get to see like girls in other sports on other platforms. So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's cool to see like other sports be celebrated too, and not just like all the people you know in your own sport, but like sitting next to you guys. Like I think it's so cool that we all do the hard work, and we only get to see like you guys
on game day.
Having a specific day to recognize women in sports just puts like an emphasis on how important sports are for women. Women get just as much out of sports as little boys do, and just letting them experience all that they can experience. And I don't know, I think it emphasizes the importance of having women in sports.
Happy National Girl and Women in Sports Day.
Go Bucks!
Still to come, as part of the Big Life series, we follow Ohio State swimmer Nyah Funderburke, the daughter of a former Big Ten basketball star who made the trek with others down to Selma.
I am partaking in the Big Life Series trip because ever since I've come into college, representation has been such a big part of my collegiate career within athletics, academics, socially.
Y'all head to this table right here to get credentials and hotel room and key.
Being a swimmer has just been such a big and impactful journey so far. I started swimming when I was 12 years old. So a little bit late in the game, as a lot of swimmers begin the sport when they're 2-3 years old.
An Ohio State sophomore, Nyah Funderburke.
I would say especially on a very high competitive level, collegiately and professionally, it's kind of like a handpick of other black men and women that I see on the pool deck or in competition.
A final 100-yard backstroke. Halfway through.
There have been experiences and challenges that I've faced within my swimming career that could have deterred me away from the water, but I kind of lived up and over them in terms of competition, and people see a black girl join swimming late in the game and then they see that she's beating other people.
It's Nyah Funderburke for Ohio State, another Buckeye win, this time in the 100.
Swimming in the water also ties into the civil rights movement. There was an incident where African Americans would be at their local pool and white people would just come up and pour acid in the water. That picture has honestly stuck within my head. The facial expressions, the tone, like I can only imagine the screams of the acid hitting the skin of my fellow African American men and women. So I can only imagine what the experience was like firsthand.
People were being beaten down to the ground as if they weren't human beings. The dogs and the horses pushed their way into the crowd, just trampling over people. And as I had begun to run, I could see people falling.
I would definitely say that hearing the firsthand experiences of some of the women who talked about marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge was really something that will definitely stick within me. Busing down here, other athletes and I, we had a conversation and we were like, wow, like this is kind of unreal that we're going to be walking the same path, walking the same footsteps, breathing the same air as our fellow brothers and sisters who were beaten, all to be considered a reasonable and whole human.
Hey, listen. When I say big, y'all say life. Big. Life. Big. Life. Yes, sir.
I am so excited to learn more and gain more insight on the civil rights movement through a firsthand experience. You know, there's only so much that the teachers can teach us in history class or African American studies class, but actually being able to physically come here and experience the trip alone, but with other like-minded athletes to really push and apply this history to things going forward.
Okay,
Nyah. Maya? Okay, cool. Good to remember. Easy to remember. So my last name, I think it's German.
Look at this. Great defensive play by Skelton. Funderburke.
My father, Lawrence Funderburke, played basketball at Ohio State. Well, Indiana first, transferred to Ohio State University.
Funderburke on the drive and scores.
They won their Big Ten championship in 1992. Then he went on to play in the NBA for the Sacramento Kings and Chicago Bulls. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. My grandparents lived through the era of civil rights up north. They shared their personal experiences and stories with me going through those moments, and to be able to come back to the location where everything took place and happened and where we really gained our rights, and to go back to Ohio and share with them my experience. It's just a continuation of the generational stories to pass down. What you think of it?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
A lot of stuff to process. There was a lot to take in, obviously, with my eyes, but I kind of wanted to translate that into words into my notebook. The fact that they show or describe what they were doing when the bomb went off, that's just so sad. And this little boy. I wanted to focus on the different types of emotions that I knew going into I would feel, documenting those along with the information and history. Within the museum, I've learned a lot about certain individuals, whether it be Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, or even those hidden figures that we don't really hear about, but went through the torment and the excruciating racism. The guy who did it, they were having a Bible study and they were being very inclusive with him, kind of treating him as, yeah, they were his own. And he said he almost didn't do it because of how just genuinely sweet and inclusive they were treating him. Knowing that we've still got a lot of work to do. Us being the young generation, we have a lot of power and influence that we can exert on society.
What can you do about it?
What can I do about it? Number one, bring the information and guidance and firsthand experience that I've learned from this trip back to my fellow teammates and the organization that I'm a part of locally, and then hoping to expand that within other cities, just as other student athletes from this trip are going to do. That can really change the game.
Coming up, some of the brightest stars in the Big Ten offered some advice to the younger generation as part of National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Next. The Big Ten Women's Sports Report is fueled by Gatorade. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
If I could give advice to a younger female athlete, I would say to not be so hard on yourself. Enjoy the game, enjoy the process, enjoy growing, and have fun with it.
The advice that I would give to young female athletes, it's twofold. I think the first piece is find your support system. So what I mean by that is find the people who are going to be there and push you and just help you along your athletic journey. That's the biggest piece for me, I think. Having the right coaches, having the right teammates, making sure your family members are all in and inspiring you and motivating you to be your best self. And then the second piece of that is just continually raise the expectations that you have for yourself and the goals that you set for yourself, because it's going to make it a lot easier to actually achieve those goals if you set the bar as high as you can.
Don't stop, and you can do anything that you put your mind to. Doesn't matter what anybody says.
For the girls out there who are joining a sport, whatever it may be, advice to you guys is to just keep having fun and do what you love to do and go out there. Don't set any limits, and yeah, just have fun.
My advice to girls coming up is just stay the course and listen to your parents and just be yourself and just ready to work.
I would give the advice to young female athletes to just go out there and be strong and just give it your all. As a female, there are not always opportunities to play at the professional level, so it is important to get both the athletic and academic experience, and I would just push young women to strive for that aspect.
The advice that I would give to like the younger generation is just keep going. You never know what one day will turn into. One day could change your whole life. So just keep going, even if you may not see a clear vision, even if you may not feel like this is the right decision. Once that you have that confirmation, once you get that confirmation that this is for you, you can do it, you will do it, just keep going. And I think eventually things will start to show for itself.
My advice for a younger female athlete would be to remember that the only thing that limits what you're capable of is yourself.
The advice that I would give younger female athletes is to just do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. You know, I grew up in Michigan and softball wasn't huge, and you know, people looked at me like I had 4 heads when I told them what my dreams were, but you can do it anyways. And so whatever you set your mind to, whether it's sports or not, do it.
My advice to younger female athletes is just try different things. There's never any harm in trying a lot of different sports, figuring out what you like, and don't put too much pressure on it. It's just a great way to have fun, meet people, and just gain life skills. So keep it fun, keep it light.
A couple of spring sports kicked off their season, and starting in Evanston, the defending national champs and #1 team in the country looked the part. Izzy Skane and the Cats put on a show for a sold-out crowd, downing #5 Syracuse 18-15. In softball, the Hoosiers upset the 15th-ranked Oregon Ducks down south, thanks to the bat and arm of Brianna Copeland in the season opener. She went 2 for 3 from the plate with a triple and a homer while going 5 1/3 with 8 Ks in the circle. No matter what sport your passion is, Big Ten Plus delivers access to thousands of non-televised live events, next-day on-demand game replays, multi-view to watch up to 4 games at once, and your favorite school 24/7 channel. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at BigTenPlus.com. Be sure to follow us on our social media channels as we keep you updated on everything happening from the mat, track, rink, pitch, pool, diamond, and hardwood in the Big Ten. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later.